Alright, so you might be wondering what's going on. Why is she starting a video like this? This is not her normal hiking forte. And that is because I am doing something a bit different. I've been down in California visiting my grandma for a while now, and I recently got the opportunity to go hike at Joshua Tree, and I really liked it. And for whatever reason, when I decided to take the road trip down here, I didn't bring any of my backpacking stuff. I actually talked myself out of it. I had it all together, and then I decided, no, I'm not going to go solo backpacking while I'm down here. Which was a huge mistake, because I went to Joshua Tree and fell in love, and now I want to go backpacking. And if you don't know this about Joshua Tree, winter is the perfect time to go do that, because it's not 1,000,000 degrees out. Luckily, I did bring a backpack. Unfortunately, it's a 28-liter backpack. So we're gonna have to get creative today, and that is why I'm starting this video the way I'm starting it. I was recently somewhat inspired by Miranda Goes Outside. She has done a whole series of trying to find the ideal budget backpacking kit. And while I don't have the kind of time that she has had, I do have a hint of an idea. So I am heading out today to try to get the remaining pieces I need, which is a tent, a sleeping pad, because as cozy as a sand wash sounds, it's still not cozy enough for someone who is approaching 40, and a sleeping bag. So those are my big items that I need to pick up today, and thanks to Miranda, I have an idea of what I want to go get for those things. And then I happened to just bring a few things with me that I thought would be helpful on a road trip anyway, such as I already have a headlamp, I already have my Jetboil, I already have some freeze-dried food. So I weirdly enough have some of the things with me, but I am going to take you shopping, just in case you also get a weird idea about going backpacking super spur of the moment. And if you don't need the shopping part of this video, totally fine. I'm going to put a timestamp below and you can just skip to the hiking and backpacking. Shopping has been done. Things have been acquired. The three main things I needed to get were tent, sleeping pad, and sleeping bag. Tent, I actually have a car camping tent from Walmart, Ozark Trail, and I have had that tent for longer than I would care to admit, but probably in the range of 20 years, and it is still going strong, and I've never had a problem with it. So when it came to looking at an Ozark tent from Walmart for one person for this backpacking trip, knowing Miranda had also tried it and given it 2 thumbs way up, that's what I decided to do. They do have a cheaper one-person tent. It's a little heavier. It is $30 instead of $64, but for me, I wanted something that I could continue to use if I so choose to do. So, Ozark Trail, one-person tent, the $64 version, because they're both named the exact same thing. And then as far as a sleeping pad goes, I did decide to go with the Nemo insulated switchback. There are less expensive versions of this foam core waffle mat out there. Walmart has one as well. The Nemo is the thickest out of all of them, and I am someone who's used to sleeping on a big Agnes inflatable mat that gives me like 3 inches of thickness up off of the ground. So this is going to be a big adjustment for me, so I went with the thickest one that I could find, because anything inflatable was going to be upwards of $100. Or just not worth my time. There's several Thermarest ones out there that range anywhere from $60 to $80. I just wasn't interested. I've used a Thermarest before. They're huge, they're heavy, and they don't do a good enough job for me to be okay with that amount of weight. So we went with something new for me. It's ultralight, and I can stick it on the outside of my backpack instead of trying to find space for it on the inside. And then the best surprise of the day, I was gonna go with the Trailmade 20 because I've heard wonderful things, REI Trailmade 20. So I had actually ordered it, was gonna pick it up, went and picked it up. And then I wandered over to the REI resupply section, which used to be known as their like garage sale, and happened across an REI Downtime 25 degree mummy women's sleeping bag for $35. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's no holes, no rips, no stains, no nothing. I got into it, zipped it closed. The only thing I can think of is it is a snug fit. If you are someone who wants to roll around like a little rotisserie chicken inside your bag, you will not be doing that. You will be taking the whole bag with you while you do that. And I am someone who prefers a quilt because I like to rotisserie chicken in my bag while I sleep. But beggars can't be choosers, so I am gonna make do. And it does feel quite a bit like a nice little hug. So we're gonna go with that for a night. And then I'm gonna probably end up leaving it in my car as an emergency blanket because it's 25 degrees. So I got into it. It's all very snuggly. This tent has a lot more space than I thought it would, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't think I'll have to keep my shoes and backpack out in the vestibule. I think I can have them in with me, which is what I would prefer. So all in all, great finds. Now I'm going to take all this down, try and get it into my pack. So now we're just making some breakfast and then we're going to be on our way. I'm leaving later than I wanted to, but I kind of needed the morning to finish getting all this together. We're on our way. I just parked, got everything together. My pack is thankfully not as heavy as usual, just because it couldn't be, but it is full to bursting, which means I am carrying my lunch because there's nowhere to put it. It's hot, not as hot as it could be, for which I'm very thankful, but also glad I have a sun shirt and a hat. So we should be well regulated. Just hit the 2-mile marker. Take that with a grain of salt because there was some wandering around trying to get on track to start with. And then I finally found the right wash, and it's just been following this wash pretty much the whole way so far. I think I have about 1.5 miles until I hit the Ruby Lee Mill, which is a historic site here. I'm gonna stop there, eat some lunch, maybe dinner, and then carry on and see if I can find a suitable campsite. But thankfully with this wash here, it's been pretty easy to stay on track and pretty easy walking if you like long walks on the beach. Well, that last section is a bit of a maze. The wash gets very, very narrow, but thankfully someone stacked some cairns to mark the way. So we just followed those. And I can see one a little ways ahead. So they're still mostly lining up with my GPS and where I want to be going. So both together, super helpful. So of course, the part that I want to camp in is a wash full of boulders. Because of course. Oh, gonna have to keep going. All right, I am all set up for the evening. Wound up doing 5.5 miles, which was a mile more than I wanted to do, but at the 4.5 mile mark, it was just a very narrow canyon full of really big boulders and nowhere to really camp. So decided to keep walking and try and get back down into the valley just a little bit more. Found a really nice spot to set up. I'm still in a canyon, but it's nowhere near as narrow, so it feels a little bit better, a little less claustrophobic, no giant boulders. So tent is set up. I did not really eat very much today. Not intentionally, just I think the heat and the elevation sapped my appetite. So I am waiting probably till the sun goes down and more of these adorable little flies go away before I worry with dinner. And if I even feel like it, that is, I may end up just having snack dinner because I didn't eat any of my snacks when I'm an adult and I can make this choice. But yeah, looking forward to stargazing. Not sure yet if I will put the rain fly on my tent or just leave it off. It's chilly, but I don't think it's gonna get much cooler. I think maybe low 40s. So we'll see.